JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 26th of August 2022. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's morning session. The last Friday, by the way, of August and the last Friday of summer. So yeah, guys, before we go further, as always, we're gonna have a quick read through our risk disclaimer. So yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our jfdbrokers.com website, and yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful stuff here, so feel free to check us out in order to find some information about us. Now then, guys, jumping into the charts, the first one I want to pick up here is Nikkei 225. And looking at this picture here, beautiful rebound, everything's looking fine. Yesterday, as you know, let me get rid of this. Yesterday, as you know, the markets in the US bounced and in Europe as well. So, it was a good moment for the bulls. In general, yesterday, the markets rallied. I mean, I think that that's in anticipation of today's big event. Of course, everybody keeps on talking about it, the Jackson Hole Symposium, but not only that, specifically about the Jerome Powell's speech. Now. Again, as I mentioned yesterday, I mean, I think that there's way too much, kind of hype around it. Yes, he might say something new, but again, let's see how the market reacts. I mean, it's just a good, good old a moment for, for the market participants to create volatility, and this is what everybody always wants. I mean, as the majority probably of short-term traders, you need volatility, and that's what helps you out. Of course, for long-term investors, volatility is not something that that they're happy about, but unless it goes in their favor. But like I said, the market is expecting some volatility at the moment. Looking at Nikkei here, for example, the index is closed. We're finished for today, and we've ended the week. We ended the week here, basically, just near this 28,846 barrier. I talked about that level, if you remember, in the beginning of this week, and first of all, beautiful rebound, everything's working out according to the plan. The only thing is that the other part of the plan is not yet working out, and that is to see a move further north here above this barrier. So either way, you can do it this way. If you do climb above that 28,846 territory, then yeah, I'll go for the current highest point of August, or even or even towards that 29,388 zone, and then yeah, we'll just kind of take it from there. If the index suddenly falls below all this 28,207 territory, and that would place, of course, the index below the highlighted territory, below the 21-day EMA, and of course this could lead to a larger correction to the downside, because don't forget that we're still trading above the short-term tentative, of course, but nevertheless an upside support line drawn from the low of the 20th of June. Shanghai Composite, so beautiful rebound, everything's looking fine here. We pushed nicely to the upside, but we are trading. I think we're not finished yet on this one. No, I do apologize. Yeah, we're not finished yet, so we're still trading. We still have something around 50-something minutes left of trading. So at the moment, I would say if you are If you're looking for some upside or some downside, well, guys, wait a little bit, because again, I said that to you previously that look, maybe this could be forming, maybe this could be coiling up here, and we need to clearly wait for a breakout through one of these areas, one of these lines, through one of these lines, trend lines. There we go. I have to kind of clarify every time. Okay, so basically, like I said, yeah, we're waiting for this. But if we break the downside line here, we might start considering the option of seeing this one as a possible maybe inverted head and shoulders pattern, with our left shoulder being here, right shoulder being here, and the head is right there. The neckline is a little bit tilted here, so but what you can do here is keep an eye on the 3,295 territory right there. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, and we could then aim for that 200-day EMA or even above it. So in terms of the Hang Seng Index, look at this, guys, beautiful breakout through this downside line. And what I said to you previously, that look, I mean, we're keeping an eye on that 20,216 territory, and boom, we've managed to test it perfectly. Yes, we're trading above the 21-day EMA, so in a way everything's kind of working out nicely. But as I said to you before, that preferably for the upside, I would like to see a break above this barrier, this 20,216. Yes, if you manage to capture this, let's say this breakout, and you're still in the trade, okay, congratulations. You probably have already put your stop loss here on a break even, just in case this reverses against you. But yeah, if you're not, then probably wait to see what's going to happen further. And yeah, like I said, today we're going to keep an eye on the U.S. markets to see what's going to, how it's going to go further. And yeah, we'll go from there, guys. At the moment, I would say this way, yeah, if we do pop and stay above the 20,216 territory, then yeah, I'll go for a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that we're still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 28th of June. ASX 200, so the Australian index. Look at this, but beautiful move. So we're pushing higher, and this is what I talked about previously. I said, look, I mean, in order for me to go higher, to get comfortable with the upside, I need to see a push above this 7,000. Do apologize. 7,117 territory, approximately around there. A nice good pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high, would create a new high for August, if that happens today or next week, in the beginning of next week. If that happens, then yeah, we'll create a new high for August. Now, looking at this at the moment, again, I don't want to rush into anything, because what if, for example, we push a little bit higher here, but end up, struggling to overcome this barrier, and then we reverse back down, and basically we'll end up with a nice little range. So yeah, this could be a range trader's paradise here later on. But again, that's only if we get a rejection here and we start drifting back down. Again, also keep your eyes on the US indices today, and then at least you can have a feeling how it might start off on Monday. The German index, DAX. So I need to get rid of this highlight. Actually, I'm gonna put this one right here. So with the German index, DAX. Okay, so this one here is quite interesting. We are correcting to the upside. Okay, so everything's all nice and dandy here. Everything's fine. But yeah, as I said before to you, like, look, I mean, I would prefer to see a push above the 13,455 territory here in order to go a little bit higher. But if we are not really getting that, we might see a hold up here. Let me just have a look at the German index, the cash index right now. The cash index is sitting at around 13,305 area, so above yesterday's close, but still somewhere in the same kind of yesterday's trading range. Again, it might go higher a little bit, but as I said before, it might find resistance near this 13,455 territory. If it finds a hold up here, we might see another decline. Okay, in terms of, let's say, the downside, like to get a little bit more excited about the downside, well, probably a drop somewhere below this hurdle would be needed. And to be honest, as I said before, initially I'm targeting that psychological 13,000 mark, but only if we, let's say, find a strong rejection somewhere near, let's say if we push a little bit higher but find strong rejection from near this 21-day EMA. Now that could be a good opportunity for the sellers here, but then of course it would be still tricky, because again, this is, let's say, if you are a little bit more risky, if you like to take more risky trades, then yeah, maybe this could be an option for you. Let's say, you know, if we get a hold up near below this 21-day EMA, below this 13,455, then you could, for example, you can enter a trade. But then this is the thing, is that it's very close to potentially, let's say, reversing and breaking above it. So if you do something like that, then you need to kind of calculate the risk, you know, how much you're willing to lose, because let's say if this suddenly starts reversing against you to the upside, if you are short from here, then your stop loss has to be somewhere around here, because if this breaks and stays above this barrier, well, I mean, this could lead to a larger, you know, correction here towards this downside line. So you have to kind of evaluate that, guys. I mean, if you do like to trade something like that, if you want to wait, if you're a little bit on the cautious side and you want to wait for a breakout below the 13,085 zone, yes, that could be an option as well. Then, of course, we would initially aim for that psychological 13,000 mark, and then maybe, you know, so on and so on further down. But again, that's something, you know, you need to kind of decide for yourselves how to do it better. You know your trading style better, guys, and I'm just here to kind of, you know, give you out these ideas, but you kind of act, you know, you make your own decision on it, guys, because again, this, you know your account balance better. Long story short, that's the situation. Of course, the more comfortable level for the downside for me is the 13,085. For the upside, it needs to push above the 13,455 level. NASDAQ 100, guys, very quickly on that one. NASDAQ 100 did get a nice push higher. So yesterday I talked about this, and I said that, look, if we break and stay above this 13,073 territory, I'll get a little bit more excited with the upside. Now, this is where I need to kind of correct myself a little bit, because in the normal world, in the normal trading world, I would say yes, that's the case. But given that we have the big news and the market, you know, market participants are anticipating the big, you know, speech from Powell, in that, this is where, you know, you can sometimes write off all your ideas away, and in a way, it now just going to be a little bit of a chance moment. So the market will be probably volatile, and you know, it might end up being the same way. It might end up trading in you know, what I'm kind of assuming here it could happen, because my assumption here is that, look, if we stayed above this barrier, maybe there's an opportunity to go and retest the 200-day EMA, which could be quite nice. But then, I mean, from there we would have to take it, you know, further, and yep, we'll go from there. So, long story short, again, what we could see happening, for example, is, let's say, a huge spike down, you know, like a quick drop here, heavy drop, maybe even clearing some of these levels, and then basically, you know, the market participants would kind of restabilize everything, and, you know, remove all the emotions, and then just jump back into buying, and then this is where, you know, we could go up again. So we've seen such scenarios happening. So again, I'm not saying that I have a crystal ball here and this is exactly what's going to happen, but no, just I'm giving you just one of the examples that, you know, used to happen. Let's say, for example, if technically you think that this is how it is, but then, you know, there's a big event news or something like that, and then kind of it mixes up all the technicals again, you know, and then kind of you have to start fresh. Now, what I'm really, in my ideal world, what I'm looking at here is basically, let's say, if we do continue pushing higher, the reason why I'm also only aiming for the 200-day EMA and not higher, because I want to see if this is not going to end up being somewhat of a like a head and shoulders pattern, something like that, guys, approximately around this. Let's say, you know, we have our left shoulder, we have our head, and now we could be maybe forming the right shoulder. However, it's way just an idea right now. I mean, it could be, you know, we could scrap it, but just like I said, that's one of the justifications why only towards this 208 EMA I am aiming for. And then if we do climb above it, okay, perfect. You know, we could go higher. That's fine. We will be positioned for that as well. But just like I said, just to keep you aware. Anyway. DXY, the dollar index, very quickly on that one, stalling. Yep, stalling again, of course, understandable, because we are waiting to see what's going to happen today with in Jackson Hole. That's going to be quite interesting to see which way we're going to blow up, because look, we found resistance near this 109.29. Okay, that's perfect. I talked about this in the beginning of this week on Tuesday when I came in. I said, look, I mean, I said, look, this is what, you know, we are looking at. I am looking at. I'm looking at this hold up. We got the hold up because maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing here a possible ascending triangle forming. Who knows? But again, you know, we can consider that. But let's say if it ignores this idea of an ascending triangle, then it might, you know, pop earlier, for example, through this barrier. But again, let's see on the outcome. I mean, again, it's very difficult to you know, to kind of know what's going to happen, and basically that's why we can just basically position ourselves carefully, have our stop losses in place, and just go with the flow. You know, what's of course you can, you know, we can look into it deeper, but sometimes, to be honest, the market becomes very irrational, very emotional, and that's why some of the rules sometimes don't work. So again, be very careful. Is the market you're dealing with every day, and just most importantly, just have your stop losses in place, and all will be fine. You know, just only go into trades which are willing to lose. I mean, you can afford to lose, let's say. Not willing, but you can afford to lose. If you can afford to lose that trade, okay, that's fine. You know, it's still kind of, it's still eventually a gamble. The only thing is that this is a bit of a more maybe justified gamble or something like that, if you can say. But anyway, coming back to the DXY here, the dollar index, look, a drop below this hurdle here, this 108.08 level may attract a few more sellers, and this is where I'm going to aim for that 21-day EMA then. So good potential target. Let's see if this is going to play out. For the upside, I need to see a break above the 109.29 level, and then I'll go higher. Gold, very quickly on that one. So look at this beautiful push through this barrier, this 1754. I talked about this. I said that my next target is the 21-day EMA. We overshot that a little bit, dude. That's fine. But then today we have already drifted lower, tested this area near that 1754 territory, approximately around here. We rebounded from it, and now we moved back closer to this 21-day EMA. Now, in order for me to go to the upside, this is where I think I will have to readjust this. In order for me to go for the upside, I would like to see a push somewhere above this area. Actually, it's not going to be a specific level, but more of an area. Okay, so something. Now I'm trying to look. Oh, okay, the ideal moment here is the 1765 level, but I will start looking at some higher levels already above the 21-day EMA, but still I'll be very careful. We might just get a little false breakout here and fail to, for example, reach the high of yesterday. If that happens, and we might drift back below the 21-day EMA, and we might stay there. And the next week we might see, you know, this one kind of drifting maybe south. If, let's say, DXY, for example, starts rallying heavily to the upside. WTI oil. So okay, there we go, guys. This 95 territory is providing, together with the 200-day EMA, is providing good resistance. I talked about this level, and I said to you, look, I mean, in order for me to get a little bit more comfortable with the upside, I need to see the commodities staying above this barrier, above this area. Well, we failed to stay above that 200-day EMA, and we drifted back down. However, for the something that's working for the bulls is the fact that we are still above the 21-day EMA. Now, that of course can still support the upside. However, I'm going to stick to my rule, and I will wait for another push above the 95 territory in order to get comfortable with higher levels. Until then, I'm just observing the price price action. Now, ETC USD. Now, guys, if you're looking for a crypto that has a little bit more volatility than the rest of them, because the rest of them are just asleep, you can look at ETC. I mean, this one is just moving nicely, guys, and this is perfect for trading in a way, or could be perfect for trading, unless you like specifically some other cryptos. But anyway, looking at this picture, what I can see here is a possible flag forming. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about here. Maybe could be the music for some of the bulls, because again, you know, if you're sitting in that crypto and it's not probably really working out for you well, so you know, but hey, it's part of the game, guys. You know, patience is gold, so wait for that gold, or have that gold. So basically something like this. So we could be forming a range. That's first of all. We could be forming a range. A few levels have to be adjusted, I think, that because this is no longer valid. So something like around here, 39 level. This has to go. This has to go around here. So yeah, basically something like this. Now, in order for me to go higher, maybe I'll push above this 39 territory could be ideal. However, at the moment, the fact that we are trading above the 21-day EMA could be seen as a good positive here for the crypto. And then we could go towards the upper side of this potential range. Now, again, what I was also saying, that maybe this could be seen as a bullish flag, because look, we have our pole here, and we might have this prolonged flag here. So if that's the case, I mean, we could, you know, see a nice pop higher. However, this is a very thin line between, let's say, not a flag, but let's say just a prevailing trend was to the upside. Then we've entered consolidation. We started ranging here, and then we popped again. This typical kind of scenario in the textbooks and the TA textbooks that we have, and basically we have a continuation move to the upside, you know, a continuation breakout here to the upside. So because the prevailing trend was to the upside as well before entering this range. Of course, we do get the opposite happening sometimes, but again, you need to, in general, if you think that this is just going to pop higher, again, don't get me wrong, I mean, might not. So this is still the market we're dealing with. Anything can come out and say, hey, you know what, you know, crypto is a bad thing, and that's why, you know, everyone will start selling it. So basically, just easier option is to wait for a clear breakout through one of these areas, from one of these barriers, and then do something about it. AUD and ZD, very quickly. So just a quick update. I talked about this, and I see, boom, it worked out. It pushed higher, and we went further north. The only thing is, I'm going to take a bit of a pause here. I'm not going to target way too much to the upside here for now, because I want to see if we can get a bit of a maybe correction back down. So to be honest, we might see this one maybe stalling somewhere around here today, ending the trading day today, and maybe on Monday we could see a bit of a retracement back to this highlighted territory. That's what I'm going to keep an eye on. If we rebound from it, great, wonderful. We could go back up, and then I will reevaluate, you know, the upper levels here. At the moment, I'm not going to do that because, again, it's Friday, and to be honest, I want to see if this is going to work out or not. So basically, I'll pick up on this one maybe on Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll see what's going to happen here. If we're going to get a bit of a retracement here, because if this is going to end up as a doji today, for example, yeah, it could be seen as a nice little reversal sign. Now, AUD USD. So this is, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but basically I want to adjust a few levels here. So this is working out interestingly, the 0.6977. So we're finding good resistance around here. But to be honest, I'm gonna remove this level, and I'm gonna mark the peak here, the highest point of August near the 0.7137 actually. What I said previously, I said that, look, if we push through the 0.7047, then I'll aim higher. Initially, I'll aim for that 200-day EMA or even above that. Now, this downside line has to go, but I will reuse it. because what I wanted to show you here, and some of you maybe have already spotted that, maybe, just maybe, we got ourselves here a possible head and shoulders pattern with the neckline being a little bit with a decline here. So that's fine, that that happens. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna keep an eye on. So if we break the neckline and then we break below the 0.6853 54 territory, somewhere around here, that's where, yeah, from where I'll start looking at the downside. For the upside, I need to see initially, of course, preferably I would like to see a push up of the 0.7137, but hey, we can start looking at some higher levels already around here, but of course you need to take that into consideration, that we might see a hold up somewhere near the 200-day EMA and then maybe a reversal back down. So you will play, you can play that yourself the way you want it, just most importantly, have your stop loss in place. And the CAD, just a quick update. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one. I talked about this for the past 2 days. Basically, I'm waiting for a clear breakout here. I don't know if it's going to happen today or maybe tomorrow, but hey, it still is interesting. For me, I'm looking for the downside on this one, but that's still need to see a confirmation break, because again, this could easily reverse back up, break through this one, through the 21-day EMA and the 0.80 to 85, and then go a little bit higher. So, but again, at the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but a confirmation break is needed. USD JPY very quickly on down, also waiting for today's event to see what's going to happen. So yeah, if we do see something like this, which I've drawn here in the beginning of this week, let's see if that's going to happen. If we can get a test of this 21-day EMA and the 135.58 level, or even maybe the upside line, and then we can see a rebound and a push back to the upside. So either way, if you're, if you want to consider that scenario, if you're looking for something a little bit more reassuring, 137.46 could be the case for you, because a nice could pop above it, may attract a few more buyers, and then we could aim for that highest point of July. USD CHF. So, not very pretty, but okay, I'll take it, because what I was saying previously, that look, if we do break this downside line and we stay above it, then yeah, this could attract a few more buyers into the game. Well, it did so initially, but we kind of started jumping around here, and to be honest, it started violating this downside line. Although this doesn't look very pretty anymore, I would say not very technical, I would actually keep it and see what's going to happen further. Now, the only thing what I'm going to change here is the level. This is what I'm going to look at. This is the current highest point of this week, near the 0.9692. Yes, the 0.9692 territory is something to keep an eye on. A nice pop above it would confirm a forthcoming higher high. For the downside, I would like to think about this little hurdle, the 0.9544. But I would start looking already at some lower levels if we do drop below the 100 and the 21-day EMAs right here. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. But again, also waiting for the news. GBP USD, similar story, also hovering here above this 1.1760 territory. But if we see some strength in the US dollar, then there we go. We have a beautiful continuation move lower. Again, don't exclude a possibility maybe of seeing a pop here initially, maybe a spike and then a decline. So yeah, but either way, I will probably reuse this arrow, and I will do it this way. If we do drop below this hurdle, below this highlighted territory, then yeah, I'll start aiming for that 1.14 level, for 1.1414, just to let you know what that level was in the past, and that's the one. That's the lowest point of March 2020. Yep, the pandemic period. EuroCAD, very quickly on that one. So far, so good, working out nicely. The idea was here that this arrow is shifted a little bit. The idea was to target the 1.2857. We're very close, almost reached my target. To be honest, not much to tell you about this one, but I will just wanted to show you that, hey, this is kind of working out nicely. We got that breakout through the lower side of this descending triangle pattern, and yep, everything's very, very technical. And finally, EURUSD, guys. So also waiting for the news, for the event, for the speech. So again, similar story as with GBP USD, also waiting for a clear breakout. I'm gonna start. Well, this is what I've marked previously. I mean, this is not maybe ideal. That's the lowest point of July. Actually, I'm going to keep an eye on it. If we start dropping below it, below the 0.9952, I will start aiming then for the current lowest point of August near the 0.90 and 0.99 zone. And if that gets cleared, this is where, yeah, I'll go further south. So pretty straightforward on this one, guys. At the moment, I am, of course, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but again, a confirmation break is still needed, because anything could happen. We could see a huge spike here to the upside initially, and then maybe, you know, the sellers would come in and then drive it back down. So this way you would get rid of a lot of sellers who are right here right now. You know, a lot of stop losses would be triggered around here. And then, yeah, you know, this is where the bigger sellers could start coming in and, you know, driving the rate back down. But however, let's see how this is going to play out. Either way, if we do pop above the 1.00118 level, I will aim for that 21-day EMA only, and then I'll take it from there. This arrow is let it be here. We'll see how it's going to play out. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for joining in and watching this one till the end. I really appreciate your views, your likes, your comments. In general, I appreciate your time. Thank you for that. I hope you found these videos useful this week. Join me next week on Monday, as always, at 6 o'clock GMT time for my Traders Espresso. But yeah, have a wonderful trading day, guys. Stay safe. Have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.